Hello, Andy here again. I've been asked by a client to explain how to use Gravity Forms to create forms for their websites, contact forms, surveys, etc. So I'm just going to run through it with my demo site here. So Gravity Forms is already installed on this site. It's a commercial plugin that I tend to use on all of my projects. It's a little bit pricey, but it's well worth it for the time and effort that you'll save compared to using something like Contact Form 7. Although if price is an issue, Contact Form 7 is brilliant. It's just a bit of a learning curve to get it going. So what we've got here is if I go into the Forms section, and there's no form set up on this site at the moment, so I'm going to create a new one and I'm going to make a contact form. Okie doke, so here's our blank section with nothing in it yet. So for my contact form, there's all these sections that I can add over here. So I'm going to add the name, phone number, and you can see as I'm clicking them over here on the right, they automatically appear on the left. Email, and a paragraph text, so that's where we're going to put the message in. So first of all, I'm going to click on here and just change this to message, and I'm going to make that required field. Email, I'm going to make that required. Phone number, now if you're in the UK, you're going to have to change this. It starts off with an American format, so UK numbers don't go into it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to change that to international and make that required. And there's the name. So you can change things. So at the moment it says first and last. You could change it to forename and surname, that kind of thing. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to make that required as well. Okay. So I'm going to click update. And that's our basic form created. So now I'm going to go over to my page. And I've got a contact page here. Now this is currently using the Gutenberg editor, so I'm going to click plus. I'm going to search for Gravity, and here's the Gravity Forms module. And we're going to choose my contact form, which is going to automatically insert it into the page. So I'm going to click update. And I'm going to view my page. So there you have a contact form. Now the nice thing about Gravity Forms is, alright, you can do something very simple like that, but if I go back in and edit my form, we have a huge number of options here. So if we start looking at, say, our advanced section, we can add file upload, we can add pricing information, so we can use it to make basic e-commerce sites. We can break things into sections. So now we've got a section break there, so I can grab that in and give that a title. We can even divide it up into pages. So if I had a page break, and let's move the files down into our second page, and let's add a couple more files. So there we go, they're in there. And if I just open that up, let's rename that. File upload and click update. Now by updating the form, it will automatically update the content on my page, so I don't really need to do anything with that. So I'll just go to pages and we'll view it this time. So there you go, you've now got a two-step form. So I fill in details on the first section. It's going to give me an error there because it doesn't recognize that as an email address, so anon@anon.com. And then click on next, and it moves us through to the second section where we can add the files before we hit submit. So you can build up some really quite complicated forms with this and collect quite a lot of information. And then when you dig deeper, there's lots of plugins in for Gravity Forms. So you can do things like automatically passing emails to MailChimp as long as you've got consent, linking it to your CRM software, to databases, all kinds of stuff. So it's a great plugin to use. The last thing I will show you, I know not everyone is using Gutenberg yet, so if I go into plugins and I'm going to activate the classic editor, so we'll turn that on, which will get rid of the Gutenberg interface. And if we go back into our pages and edit our contact form now, so this time, in order to add a form to a page, we're going to click Add Form, choose it from the drop down and insert the form, and that will generate the shortcode for you, because in essence that's all that's happening whenever you're inserting it into WordPress. But it's just as easy in the classic editor as it is in Gutenberg to get one of these forms up and running. So there you have it, a quick intro to creating a form using Gravity Forms on WordPress.